everyone. Today we are going to discuss about what is the SAT examination and why you should want to take it. So the SAT examination stands for Scholastic Aptitude Test. It opens the doors to almost 2,000 universities in the United States, and these universities, they're equipped with the state-of-art infrastructure and equipments which you can use for your research purposes or whatever purpose you intend to go for the pursuit of whichever subject that you're interested in. You can follow your passions there to the fullest extent, because there are no bars as to you have to pick a subject and stick to it. You can pick any array of subjects and there is an independence of thought and choice. So, and also they have the best of the faculties in the world, and that's a really pro, because the student is to faculty ratio is one of the lowest in the world as well. Let's say around 16:1 or 20:1. So therefore you have got a professor for every 20 students, which is excellent. You won't get it anywhere else in the world, as a matter of fact. Now, let's proceed to the next step, how to register for this test. To register for this test, you need to log into College Board. So, once you sign into College Board, you can apply for the ACT examination. There are other exams as well, PSAT and MQMAT, but those are for only US candidates. For international candidates, including Indians, you have to go to College Board and you have to sign up for the ACT test. And once you have done that, you'll need to upload some of your documents. The most important amongst them will be your passport, a valid passport, and you'll have to provide your passport number to them. And once you have done that, you'll need to fill out a registration fee. The registration fee in case of ACT without essay is $96, and in case of SAT with essay is $94. Now, once you have done that, in case of SAT with essay is $106. I made a mistake. And once you have done that, you will get access to a couple of free trial papers. You can solve them and you can acclimatize yourself with the test procedures and the timings. So the test is a total of 3 hours and 50 minutes, and it has 2 major sections, English and math. And these sections have 2 subsections, which include critical reading and writing, and math includes math with calculator and math without calculator. So, proceeding to the critical reading section. What is it? You will be given a paragraph, and you have to answer almost 5 questions from it. So, there will be around 5 paragraphs. So you'll have to be really fast with it. And once you're done reading, you have to think and answer, because all the questions are really similar to each other. The options in the questions, I mean. They're very similar to each other, and to understand which is the correct answer, you have to know the facts of the case very well. And to know the facts of the case, you'll need to read very fast, because you won't get to read it again and again. So you gotta read the questions, read the whole paragraph, and then start finding answers, and as you go. And that's that about the critical reading. And for the writing, you'll have to know the grammar well, and it isn't really complicated if you know the grammar, and for that I would suggest the Blue Book of English Grammar and Comprehension, and that will get you to the point where you need to be grammatically. So once that's out of the way, I mean, there are other strategies related to the critical reading section and the writing section, but we can discuss that later. Now, for the math section. Well, the math without calculator section, it involves the usage of formulas. And if you know the formulas well, you can do it. Except you'll need to read the problem critically and figure out which values go in where. So that's the tricky part. That's where they will try to trick you. And just like the English section, the options are going to be very confusing, and they're going to be very close to each other. So you're not going to know you won't be able to guess if you don't know the answer for sure. So that's the con about that. Well, it's not exactly a con. This is what the invigilators, the examiners determine who is capable of going to which college and who is not. Now, your application to American universities is not solely dependent upon your ACT scores. That is a very important thing. The ACT scores are an important aspect of your application, but it is not the sole determinant. So, once you've got your ACT scores, you will have to go to the common application page and fill out the website. But that's for another time. Now, proceeding to other benefits of taking the SAT. Once you're in the United States, you will have access to the best industries in the world. And when it comes to STEM subjects, the US, as you know, is the leader in everything. the companies, the tech companies of Silicon Valley in California and the automobile industries in Detroit and other places, they're top class. And interning over there will give you a kind of experience which will allow you to perform better in your own country, even if you're from Europe or some other developed country. But if you're from India, it's going to be exceptionally useful for you because Indian employers dig for US qualifications, and if they find it, you're going to have the right benefits of it. Now, proceeding to the next point, what does the SAT try to test? Well, the SAT tries to test whether you're intellectually capable of performing well in college. You know, you're able to deal with the college coursework. So that is the objective of the ACT. And the American universities are very interested in knowing that whether you will be able to take their course curriculum well, whether you will be able to sustain yourself in that academic environment. And American universities, as I mentioned, they do not take you in on basis of your rank or on basis of your marks. They take you in as a person, and therefore you will have to fill out a motivation letter and an essay on a particular question which will be provided to you by the university. And along with that, you will need letters of recommendation, and they need to see a strong academic background along with extracurricular background. So once you have all of those in orders, you can attempt the ACT. Well, it is not really a very hard test, and with proper dedication and enthusiasm, you can really crack it. It's not really difficult, as I have done it in my time. It was out of 1600 and I scored in excess of 1500. So you can do it. And now you will be interested to know perhaps that how much would you need for Harvard or Princeton or one of the premier colleges in the States. For Harvard, it's usually 1600 to 1590. I mean, they don't really go below the top percentile, the 0.1 percentile. And same goes with Yale and Princeton and the other Ivy League colleges. Well, for that, you need to be at the pinnacle of your performance. And if you manage that, then congratulations to you. You have done a great deal of more work than your competitors. Now, proceeding to the next factor is, okay, how do you fill it out? When you're in the examination hall, there will be an invigilator regulating the test. And as you proceed with the test, she'll be keeping a timer, and she'll time the test. You cannot swap the sections. If you're attempting critical reading, you cannot suddenly go to math. And if you're attempting math, you cannot suddenly go to English again. So you will have to finish a section and then proceed to the next. The invigilator will give you a time, and it will start along with the start of the test, of course. And you will have to finish the paper within that time. And once the time is over, you cannot go back to this particular paper. It starts with critical reading, proceeds to writing, then goes to math with no calculator, math with calculator, sorry, and then to math with no calculator. The difference between math with calculator and no calculator is that the one with calculator involves the usage of statistics. So in that section, you will have to know some formulas for statistics and how to find out the area under a curve for a graph and things like that. It's very important to know how the statistical objects work. However, you will be given the values for certain constants like pi and other constants that you might find useful in your sum, and also many of the formulas will be given on the back of the paper, so you don't need to worry about that. And regarding filling the OMR, you need to be very careful about filling in your personal details, your passport number, your name, everything, or else your test results will get cancelled, and it's really a big hassle to take a test for 3 hours and 50 minutes almost, and you'll have to again retake the test or have it cancelled, and it's really a lot of money to even take the test. So be careful with that. Proceeding to the next point. Okay, is it really for you? Is the ACT test really within your capabilities? Well, the answer to that is very easy. It is. Like, anyone can take it. Literally anyone. You just need the proper amount of dedication and hard work. And especially for Indian students, you have already done most of the math problems in your class. And I won't be surprised if you easily get a 800 out of 800 in the math section. Regarding scoring, however, the scoring system is out of 1600, but the test is not out of 1600. Like, there isn't a fixed score for each question. Like, difficult questions will have, let's say, 4 marks, and easier questions will have, let's say, 3 marks. Actually, these are in multiples of 10. And once they have compiled your marks, they're going to convert it into a multiple of 10, and then they're going to give an equivalent value for this number, for 1600. And once you're done with that, you get your results back. When you get your results back, you gotta log into College Board and you can check your results. They remain valid for 5 years. And when you get your results, they're gonna give you which percentile of the population do you fall in. Let's say you get 1340 out of 1600. For this, you will be around the 80% of the test takers, around the top 80% of the test takers. This is called the 80th percentile mark. Well, and once you're through that, I would wish you all the best. If you decide to take this test, we're going to be with you throughout the procedure and hope for the best. Thank you.